Hey mamas, papas, and leaders of the next generation, welcome back to day 3 of Adventure Camp. Day 3 of Adventure Camp is a really special day. It's where we give every camper a chance, a personal invitation to know Jesus personally. What does it mean? What does a personal relationship with Jesus Christ actually mean? In the same way you get to know someone, you commit to a relationship with them, and in the process, it changes you. That's what it's like with Jesus. Except in this case, it changes your life here on earth and for eternity. So, how do we see that in the story of Nehemiah? First, let's remember day 1 and 2. Day 1 was all about when Nehemiah recognized that the wall had been broken down, and instead he went to God and he prayed. Next, there were some very real enemies that came against him that did not want the wall to be rebuilt. This actually is a picture of our life and why we need Jesus. Without Jesus, we are the broken wall. What happens is the world comes against us, and what we call sin, which is separation from God, breaks us down. We feel the effects of sin whenever we're honestly sad, or when we're fearful, or discouragement comes against us, or even the fact that we have to clean things up all the time and we can never be absolutely perfectly healthy. That's actually a sign of the decay that happens because of the result of sin. And God, being a good, creative, and perfect God, can't interact with that kind of brokenness. But he sent Jesus. John 3:16 tells us that God sent his one and only Son to the earth, Jesus Christ. And as he walked in the same way that we did, but without sin, that totally changed things. And when he died, giving his life so we could have life, and rose again, defeating death, it covered everything that we could ever need in order to have a personal relationship with God again. So in the story of Nehemiah, what we actually see is we are the broken wall in need of rescue. And Nehemiah actually paints a picture of what the Holy Spirit does when we choose to admit that we're sinners, that we are broken, that apart from God, we can never fill our lives up or do enough good in order to be in a right relationship with God again. And instead, we believe that Jesus came and he lived a perfect life, died, and rose again in order to restore our relationship with God. And then we commit the rest of our lives to getting to know him, to becoming more like him. But by the power of the Holy Spirit and him at work in us, it changes how we think and how we feel and how we act. All because we choose to align with the way that Jesus did things. So, how does this relate to your camper? What does this mean in order to share the gospel with them? What we call the good news that Jesus came to save us. What you can do is you present to them the same 4 things: that God made the world a perfect place and he made us in love. But sin came and it scattered that purpose. And then we say that Jesus came in order to restore us back to God's love. And lastly, we get the choice to either have a relationship with him or not. But the truth is, not having a relationship with Jesus Christ means you still walk in the brokenness of this earth without that same hope. And after you pass away, there's not the hope of heaven. Everything with Jesus is hope and hope and hope again, the chance to be rebuilt every single day. So this is a real life application that you can share with your child. So what is our word for the day? Build. The word is build because Jesus came in order to rebuild us. I can't wait to see you tomorrow for our last day of camp. Bye.